Welcome back to the channel. If you're looking to pick up some sweet games for the Switch, but only have a few bucks to spare, then you're in the right place. Because in today's video, I've rounded up a bunch of awesome games for you, where every single one can be had for $5 or less via the latest eShop sale. Trust me, this is going to be super sweet. I love it when games are deeply discounted like this. Anyway, let's get on with the list. Giana Sisters, Twisted Dreams is a fun platformer where you can switch between the two sisters at will. When you switch between these characters, the stages drastically change in appearance and design, and thus it can open up new paths and areas to explore, as well as uncover secrets and collectibles to gather. It's a really cool platformer, and the Owltimate Edition, otherwise known as the Director's Cut Edition, greatly improves the game's presentation, especially when compared to the old Wii U version. With this version on Switch, you get a full 1080p presentation, as well as a much improved frame rate. Because of those improvements, it really helps to make those 3D visuals pop. Anyway, check this one out if you're hungry to play a platformer. It's a lot of fun to play, with a really neat concept and cool design, and it's totally worth picking up at just $2.99. Monster Sanctuary is a unique Metroidvania. Why is it unique? Well, because you can collect and battle monsters. Yes, it's sorta like Pokemon meets a Metroidvania, to a certain extent anyway. As you explore in the game, you'll collect, evolve, and battle over 100 monsters, sometimes multiple at a time. It's honestly a pretty cool game. In addition, there's online multiplayer where you can challenge others to see who is the very best, like no one ever was. There you go, it's my Pokemon reference for the day. Anyway, check this one out if you're in the mood for a different take on monster collecting. It's just $4.99 via the latest eShop sale. Planet Alpha is a neat-looking platformer where you, the player, has a unique ability. You can control the time of day. Using this ability allows you to solve puzzles, but also allows you to traverse through the different paths through the levels and such. The gameplay mechanic with adjusting the time of day is kinda in the same style as the switching gameplay mechanic that I talked about in the Giana Sisters game and how that affects the levels. It's neat though, and the Switch version here is no slouch in the visuals, especially with everything going on. It keeps up pretty nicely. It's on sale for just $1.99, and it's worth checking out if you want a cheap platformer to play. Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair is a fantastic platformer that's in the style of the Donkey Kong Country games, with some 3D gameplay segments thrown in as well. It's a challenging game for sure, but has some fantastic level design with some great mechanics, along with some surprises during gameplay to spice things up. Fun fact, this game was originally designed for the Nintendo Switch first, and because of that, we got a game that looks awesome on the Switch. It has 60 FPS gameplay, which you Switch gamers, you know how that can be a rarity at times. And overall, it's a gorgeous looking platformer. If you're a DKC fan, you need to check this one out. It is a must-get. Best of all, it's only $2.99. No one can argue against the fact that that's one hell of a deal at that price. Yoku's Island Express is a really fun Metroidvania that does things different from others in the genre. The gameplay uses pinball mechanics. Yes, you got flippers, bumpers, the whole deal. You gotta use those mechanics to guide Yoku across the island. Just like other Metroidvanias, you'll gain abilities and goodies as you explore and take down bosses. The game is a joy to play, it's a breath of fresh air, and I know the pinball stuff may sound weird, but trust me, it works out so well. It's an awesome game to play, and it's absolutely worth picking up at the steal of a price of just $3.99. Going Under is a dungeon crawler roguelike game, where you play as an unpaid intern as they travel underneath their workplace to explore the ruins of failed businesses and startups. Dungeons are randomly generated and such, and things are different each time you play. What I really like about this game is nearly everything can be used as a weapon. Tables, chairs, laptops, trash cans, the sink. It's like a backstage brawl in WWE or something. Check it out. It's a fun stress reliever for just $4.99. Turnip Boy sure did screw up, apparently committing tax evasion and Turnip Boy commits tax evasion. In this game you play as Turnip Boy, who after failing to pay his taxes, has lost his home, lost everything, and must go on a quest to repay his debt back. The gameplay is mostly a top-down style game that's almost Zelda-like in a way, and through its short running time, there's plenty of laughs to be had as you complete tasks and meet up with some crazy characters. It's back on sale at its previously low price of $3.74 until June 11th. Horror adventure game Lair has you playing as a young girl who finds herself in a dark passage of doors and seemingly empty rooms. As she tries to find her way out, she'll encounter some creepy characters, as well as plenty of spooky situations. As you explore and try to survive, you'll need to manage Claire's panic levels. If Claire's panic rises too high, well, it's game over, because she'll die from the shock. It's a neat little horror game, a bit short, and it isn't perfect, but for $4.49, I say if you're interested, it's worth checking out at that price. Oh, and by the way, that actually is a brand new low price for the game on the eShop. For more horror fun, I highly recommend Layers of Fear Legacy. It's a psychological horror game about a painter gone mad while trying to create his most important work of art yet. The game is a trip, it'll totally catch you by surprise quite a few times, and it just gets spookier and more messed up the further you go in the game. It's definitely worth checking out for just $2.99. In addition to that, there's Layers of Fear 2, which I'll be honest, I personally prefer the first game over the sequel, but for less than $5, it's worth checking into if you like psychological horror games. In this one, you play as an actor on a ship, and as he explores the ship, at certain points, you'll come across tasks that you need to complete, or not complete, that are told to you by a mysterious director whose voice just seems to be piped in out of nowhere. Your choices and actions will change how the game progresses, as well as affect the game's ending. Also from the same makers of the Layers of Fears games is Observer, which is another psychological horror game. Now this one has some cyberpunk and mystery game vibes going on. In this one, you play as a detective who can hack people's brains, as well as scan environments for electronic devices and biological evidence. It's pretty trippy. Anyway, his son ends up missing, and he needs to track down and solve the mystery of why he disappeared. Check it out, it's just $4.49 via the latest eShop sale. A third mini Neo Geo Arcade Archive sale has dropped in the eShop. The latest deals include 5 games: Metal Slug 5, Samurai Showdown 5, Cyber Lip, Ninja Combat, and Baseball Stars Professional. And each one is on sale for $3.99 each. Samurai Showdown 5, Cyber Lip, and Baseball Stars are on sale for the first time ever, and the other 2 are returning sales. The 99-cent sale for Capcom Arcade Second Stadium is back. For the app, you can choose between 30 games that are on sale for 99 cents each. The full list of games can be found in the app itself or on the eShop, but some highlights include the Darkstalkers games, both Mega Man arcade games, the Street Fighter Alpha games, Saturday Night Slam Masters, 3 Wonders, which is actually 3 games in one, Hyper Street Fighter 2 the Anniversary Edition, and Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. Many of these titles are some of the best arcade games Capcom has ever released, and the fact you can get them for less than $1 each is just an insane deal. It blows my mind. It's definitely a deal worth checking out if you're in the mood for some arcade fun. The games are on sale until June 5th. A first-person shooter with a bit of arcade vibes, called Juarez Gunslinger, is a great game on Switch. Play as a bounty hunter in the American West in the late 19th century, and your goal is to shoot down everyone that stands in your way in each level, Wild West style. You need to hide behind cover, then jump out and quickly shoot down enemies, almost in a style like the old arcade light gun games. Just, without the need for an actual light gun. In addition to the regular shootouts, you'll need to win duels. Yes, you'll need to quickly pull your weapon, aim and fire, just like in those old westerns. This game is a treat to play, and the Switch version looks great on the system. And the performance is great too, it's fantastic. Best of all, we had for just a little over $2. The game is a steal at that price. Sumire is an adventure game about a young girl in a Japanese village, he meets up with a spirit who makes a deal with her to fulfill a wish. In order to do this, she needs to complete tasks before the day ends. Now here's the thing, you can't do everything. You're going to need to make choices in how you spend your day, and because of this, the choices have a huge impact on how the day progresses. It's a cute, charming, and emotional little game that asks the question, if you had just one day, and one day only, how would you spend it? A hidden gem? Check this game out. It's often very much overlooked, but it's very much worth your time. It's on sale for just $1.99 until June 10th on the eShop. My Time at Portia is a farming and fantasy life sim that allows you to do a lot of different things. Gather resources and stuff to create and craft items for yourself and the town's residents, as well as manage the farm, assign tasks for the residents to chip in, go fishing, and even go dungeon exploring to fight monsters for loot. It's a game that has a little bit of everything, and the fact that there is so much to do, it constantly feels like a fresh experience, and it rarely, if ever, gets boring. For those who love sim games, like Harvest Moon and Story of Seasons, it's a game that's worth checking out for just $4.49. The Gardens Between is an adventure game that has you manipulating time to solve puzzles and such in order to reach the top of each island. This mechanic is pretty cool how it's implemented in each island, and I like the fact that the puzzles aren't stupidly hard, but not brain dead easy either. As you play the game, you'll discover a story about friendship between the two characters that's charming, if a bit bittersweet, but the narrative makes for a nice experience as you solve the puzzles. Make sure to check this one out if you're looking for a nice chill game to hang out with for a few hours. It's on sale for $2.99 until June 13th. The Last Campfire is a puzzle adventure game that is just a wonderful little game. You play as a soul called Amber who must solve puzzles to help lost souls who have lost all hope. As you save the lost souls, new areas will be unlocked, allowing you to advance further, as well as meet other characters who can give you items to solve more puzzles. The game has a nice art style, it's got a good presentation, and the way the puzzles are in-game, I like the variety. It doesn't rely too much on one puzzle type. The only downside to the game that I would say, by the time the game is over, you will wish that it lasted longer. Anyway, it's on sale for a brand new low price of just $1.99. It's a must get at that price. And there you go, that's the latest eShop deals. Plenty of good gaming on the cheap. If you appreciate the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and make sure to turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any future videos. Anyway, that's all from me today. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll catch you on the next video.